Oh, I don't know. Professor Adea's got some spots for us, but if you have any locations, yeah. But you know where I recently stayed? They had me stay down at the like on campus at the China Research Place, Botanic Gardens. Have you guys been to that Botanic Gardens back there? What do you think? I thought it was pretty nice. I mean, like some of it, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but there's there's some areas like, did you see when you cross the water and there's solid granite blocks? I mean, they're like 2 meters wide. That I mean, those things, that cost a fortune to make. Yeah, that much granite. Interesting. But so maybe we could go. Will they let us go sketch there?
Yes.
They will, right? You guys can say, hey, we're students. We demand to sketch here, right? And then I'll just sneak along behind you. Yeah. Okay. Because I don't know how much they want an American in there. I don't know. But yes, so but I want to go sketch a couple places. We won't have to go all day. We could just start. But I'd like to meet here. Yeah. Maybe we meet at like 10. Yeah, a little more relaxed, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then I just want to teach you, if you haven't used watercolor, I want to run through watercolor demonstration, okay? And then I'm going to give you at least one color of watercolor with a brush, yeah? But you need to show up with something to hold water in that you can bring it in a whole bottle. You'll see mine. All you need is this. So I just get an old bottle that I can put water in, and I can put my pencil and sketch with, yeah? Okay, and then sketch paper if you have it. I can give you a couple sheets of watercolor paper. If you have a sketchbook, bring your sketchbook. Whatever watercolor supplies you have, bring them. Yeah. Then I've got stuff you don't have any else with. Triple SketchUp. Perfect. I need like a little thing that says laws. Anyway, so 10 o'clock here, is that good? Tomorrow? Are you coming? Bring your son. You can come sketch. So yeah, so just something to hold water in, and then also if you can bring some paper towels, yeah. When you're out there, still hot. You can use them for that, but also when I'm watercoloring, I use them a lot to clean my brush. And also if I make a mistake on the paper, like an eraser. Okay. So paper towels, I can write on the yeah, paper towels, water container, pencil, pens, paper if you got it. Okay, I got one of my favorite pens for everybody. That's waterproof, so we have enough to hand out. Especially because tomorrow's a holiday and half you guys are maybe you'll get 2 pens. Yeah. Right. That's the incentive. You can just come at 10 o'clock, get your pens, supplies, and then just float off. Go back to bed. Okay, so that's tomorrow, right? Here, real quick. So today, I'd like to go till maybe 5. Is that okay? Is that too long? We're gonna go 5, okay? Tomorrow, you're not coming till 10. I'm only here one more day, right? I'm here on Thursday and then Friday. And then I'm really gonna try to get. Should I try to get tea or coffee here? What do we want? Oh, it's snacks. Wow. Wait, I thought I gave 2 options. Next level, yeah. I don't know, but I'd like to get something so we can really crank on Friday, yeah. But we'll end at like 3 o'clock on Friday, maybe 2:30, yeah. But we'll just hammer it out. Everything you want to know about SketchUp, I'm gonna try to cover it. Even if you guys don't keep up with me, I'm gonna make a video record of it, and I'm gonna give you that video so you can slow it down to half speed, right? Yeah. So you're like, what did he say? You click on this edge and hit M for the move command, right? And then you'll get it all. It'll be perfect. So, but watch this. This is kind of neat. Okay, so I wanted to show you this. I had to dig it up out of the archives, right? So I spent 6 weeks before I moved and lived in Uganda. I spent 6 weeks in Kenya hanging out. There's like this ministry down, just down the way. And they were like, oh, we want to build a rock climbing gym, right? For like climbing, right? And so I used to rock climb, back in America. And I was like, well, I know SketchUp. I will design you a rock climbing gym, right? Right. So I designed this rock climbing gym for these guys, right? And they were just like, well, maybe it'll happen, But anyway, look at so I designed this whole 3D thing. I just started using SketchUp. This was their whole idea. So I'm building this thing. You can see all these cool views that we can do. I'll try to actually show you how to make scenes, right? Right. So a scene is just like a window view, yeah. But so I designed this whole thing, and I was like, man, I don't know if anything's ever going to happen with this, right? So then listen. So then 10 years later, I'm in Athens, Georgia, right where I live in the USA, and I'm flipping through this climbing magazine. It's just called Gym Climber for like people who climb inside. I flip open a page, and there's the climbing gym that I had designed. I was like, what? They built this thing. So it's called Blue Sky Adventures here in Kenya. Like, have you guys ever heard of it? Yeah. So I'm hoping I can go down there and actually see it and be like, I should climb for free here because I helped design this place, right? Isn't this awesome? So cool. So that's another plug for SketchUp. Once you learn to design in 3D, you're not stuck on landscape, right? I was like, yeah, I could figure it out. Yeah. I mean, they didn't build anything from what I designed, but I gave them the concept. And then they were able to raise money and actually get somebody to come in and design it and build it. So yeah, so they started with, when I was first working with them, this is what the space looked like. Yeah. Oh, you can't see it, but it's just an empty warehouse. Yeah. And then, I came up with this whole concept. I was like, yeah, I'll have these piers. We'll take the piers and we'll design this, and they'll be climbing, and then like a little thing over here. And then like, if you look at these pictures, I'm like, oh my gosh, they actually built this thing. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was neat. So all that to say, SketchUp really opens a lot, right? Once you learn to do the modeling, which you guys are doing, you can do all kinds of really cool, crazy designs. Okay. Good. Okay. So back to where we are. Yeah. Are we ready? We're all centered. We got 2 hours. Yeah. So what I want to do, I want to spend um, like 30 minutes making a tin on this model. Okay. Making a surface through the middle. We got it all set up. Yeah. Technically, from what we've done, you guys know how to make stairs and walls. So you can make each one of these, and then you can connect them once you pull it up to the right height. You can connect those with a walkway, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. But we're getting pretty close for you to be able to do most of the model. But now we need to build like model the 3D tin, right? And that's basically how we can quickly do topography, right? That's the cool thing about SketchUp. So that's what I want to do. And then I want to close with a little bit of drawing, okay? And prep for tomorrow, yeah? So look, I've got all these section elevation trees, yeah? So these are ones that I drew in pencil. I just want to give you each one of these, and I want to trace them real quick. We won't trace all of them because I just want to spend about an hour doing it, yeah? But then I want to show you how I would render with colored pencils, yeah? So I'm going to do it quickly, and then you guys can practice some of these, and I'll use the document camera and I'll record it, okay? Does that sound good? Okay. Because the workflow that we're doing here is not just SketchUp modeling, right? But I use SketchUp so much, and then I actually I go like back and forth and actually use hand graphics, right? Because this section that you got yesterday is actually cut through our model, right? It's cut through that's the little sight wall right there that I just drew up here on the board, right? That we just modeled. And there's a little trellis there. I'm going to show you how to drop that trellis in there tomorrow, yeah? And then I'll probably jump ahead and show you how to cut a section on this. Okay, because once you have the SketchUp model, it's really easy to export a section like this. And you can even clean it up and actually use that section in your drawing set, or you can draw over it like I want to do. Okay, good. All right.
So I'll try to keep all the long random rabbit trail lectures down so we can get through all of this, okay? Sorry, so let's jump in. Where we're headed, right? I'm going to go ahead and open this other model too so you guys can see it. Here's my final 06. So you have access to this model also. I sent it out in the files for students folder. So you can open this model. Might take a minute. But what we need to do come on, computer. Here we go. All right, so we've been working on this, right? Now the next thing we're going to do is create this tin right here, right? So we've got all of our walks done. We even have it better than this one, right? Looks really nice. We got stairs, we got walls. So look, if you're not sure, if you're not sure with the process, it's also in this PDF that I gave you, right? So if you follow things better by reading them, you can come through and you can actually follow all of this along, right? Now you'll notice that on the plan in there, the units are different because when I initially wrote this whole lesson, it's all in imperial units, right? It's all in feet. But don't worry, just go. The only thing it changes is how high you move your things, right? So the whole workshop, the whole lesson plan will work because we're doing the same thing. You'll just be doing it in meters versus feet, okay? So we went to there, and then we're here, right? We're about to do this guy right here. Number 6, create a tin surface. Tin, 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 tin. Right? Yeah, we can cheat. Okay, yeah. All right, okay. And you'll get bonus points tomorrow if you find out what tin stands for, okay? Because I should know that, but I don't. I know it's triangulated something network, but that's it. Don't tell me now. You won't get points today. You got to show up tomorrow to get those points, okay? So look, all you have to do is select the line work you want to define as the edges of the tin. It's hard to see up here, but if you look on your PDF, all of these, I'm just outlining this whole thing, right? Some of us did it yesterday, yeah? Now, the only thing that's tricky is that some of these things that we've been working in are different groups, right? So in order to select that line, you have to go into the group, okay? So just for the ease of doing this, we're just going to go in and we're going to actually just explode not our actual walls, but just the walks so that we can actually select all of that line work, okay? I'm going to walk you through it. Don't do it yet, okay? I'm just talking through it. Then we're going to select all of that. We're also going to draw this contour in there because we have spot elevations for that. Then once we select those, pow, see that? Pow, 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 right? We're going to press one button in the sandbox from contours, and then we're going to get this beautiful tin right here, yeah? Okay, and then we're going to have to go in and clean it up a little bit because when SketchUp makes tins, it connects all of the lines to all the other lines. But there's areas where we don't want it to connect, right? Like on that walk, we don't need a tin up there. We already have a flat surface, right? So we'll go in and we'll clean that up a little bit. Good? I'm giving you the overview and then we're going to walk through it together, yeah? And then you'll have this. So tin. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to show you how to cut a section. And look, the same thing. Look, we're doing the same thing that we did with all of those other things, right? We're going to import the footprints for each one of those townhomes. You see this? We're just going to go File, Import, bring in the townhomes. And then for every one of those townhomes, we have a finished floor level, right? And you're gonna make that a group and you're gonna extrude. Actually, they're already blocks, I think. So you're gonna extrude those up to the correct height right next to your walk. Right? You're gonna build the walk down here, right there. And then once you know how to make a tin, You're going to select all those areas in between. See all those blue areas? We're selecting those lines. And then you're going to press that one button and you're going to get a real nice 10. Okay. Isn't that cool? And then we have to clean it up, son, because some of it's like, remember, SketchUp doesn't know, it's going to connect all the points that you highlight. So it's going to do some of the ones that you don't want. So you have to go into the 10 and delete some of those. Okay. We could do that. Right. And then we're going to get somewhere like this. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. Okay. So this, especially for landscape architects, working with tins is like the name of the game, right? It really helps you to visualize what you've actually drawn, and then also critique it and figure out what's working and what's not working. Yeah. And so working with surfaces in SketchUp is actually pretty easy. So you can change things pretty quick. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay. We ready? Who's excited? We got one. We got one. Good. Well, we'll start with one. That's good. All right. So look, this is where we're headed, right? We're going to make this surface right here, this 10 right here. We're actually going to make a couple of them. This one, tomorrow, if we have time, I'm going to show you how to put this walk on there. Right? It's going to be the correct slope, and you're going to love it. So there's that one, right? But we are right here, yes? Okay. So you've got some walls. Now what we're going to do, oops, my wall's still messed up here. I'll fix that in a minute. But for the ease of what we're doing, all right, I want to double click into here. And this is what you're going to have to check. Can you go around and select each one of these lines? Yeah. Can you guys see it on the board? A little hard to see. So can I select those? Now, the question is, how do you do it over here, right? Where those walls are, yeah? So what we're going to do for this exercise, there's a couple ways of making the 10. You could actually draw a line like this. Watch. You could draw a line right here and say, I want the soil to come down like this, okay? And I could make the 10 just like this, okay? And this is exactly where the soil is going to go, yeah? Watch. And then this is where I get to play. How steep do I want this to be? Do I want it to start here and slope down? Right? So this is one way to do it, right? And then I could select this. I could select that line. Oops. If I over select, I could Control Shift, deselect, and I could keep working my way around, right? Piece by piece, okay? So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is, let me undo that. So the other way to do it is similar, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hide or freeze the layer that I've got for my walls. Okay, so if I come over here, my default tray, right? If I hover over that, it should open. And I should be able, if you have to close some of these little things to find it, you can close some of those by pointing or hitting that little triangle. I want to come down to tags, okay? Because look, the nice thing is all of my layers, when I bring them in from CAD, are going to be there. And so I should be able to turn off the L wall layer. Oh no, didn't. So ideally, all of my walls are on a wall layer, right? And I can turn them off. But I had them on when I extruded them. I'm not sure what layer they're on. Ah, they're untagged, right? So watch. So I could grab this whole thing and I could actually come over here and I could drop them back on the L wall layer, okay? Under entity info. And then I should be able to turn them all off, okay? It's not deleting them, it's just making it so I can actually see, yes? Everybody see that process? So you can click on the walls, even the ones that are up here, right? You could double click on the, oh, not double click, just single click. So you have the whole group, right? Does yours look like this when you select one? Yeah. All right. And then you could hover over here until it pops out the tray. And then the top one should be entity info, right? This is like the properties of whatever you've selected. That's kind of, that's really hard to see. Hang on one second. Okay, so when you hover over the side where your tray comes up, yeah, you should be able to come over here, and then right here it should say untagged, yeah. So right there where it says L wall, yours will say untagged, right? It's probably not on a layer or a tag. So you can actually click here and then drag it down and put it on the L wall layer, okay, or L wall tag, yeah. Good. Yay. Okay. Then when it's on the L wall, hopefully all of those will be on there. This wall over here is not actually on there, right? So I'm going to snag that guy too. Oh, I can't. It's in that. I'll have to go get him. But now I can actually turn that. I can come over here to my tags window, right? I can drop that down, and I can if there's a little eyeball there, you unclick the eyeball, which is how you see it, and then they should go away, right? Good. So I'm going to show you both ways to make the tin, but this would be if I was doing this quickly, this is how I'd do it, okay? Because it's a little bit easier if we do it this way. Good. So everyone's walls are turned off, yeah, or hidden. Okay. Let me go in. I have to go in and get rid of this guy. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go into the group it's in, Control X, right? Oops, I need to turn that back on. We go back into this group. Then what am I going to do? Edit what? Paste in place, right? I'm going to place it into this group. So now when I turn that off, all of them should go off, yeah? How are we doing? That look good? Yours look like this? Or close to it? Perfect. Now, there's a couple other things we need to do. Look, we look at our spot elevations. We've got the perimeter walk worked out, right? We've got plaza at 17. We got that wall in there that we made. We got this little lower area at 16.5. We've got, all the way down to 14.7. We got our stairs and all that stuff, right? But look, in the design, there's also a 2% lawn at the bottom, right? So if we don't do this, if we don't actually put these spot elevations in, this isn't going to look correct, right? So all we need to do, I showed you guys some of this I showed some of you guys this yesterday. We need to make sure that we have a line from here at 15, 15, 15, yeah? And then we're going to select that as one of our edges when we make the tin, and it's going to make the surface including that elevation, right? Close enough. Just follow me. You'll see why we're doing it, right? So watch. We got 15.4 right here. That should be right around there. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in. We're going to use the arc command. You could do it in a lot of ways. You could come in here and draw it freeform with this little freehand drawing. You could go like that, but it's going to look really ugly, yeah? Because you'll see that SketchUp's going to triangulate between all the points on that line. So what I want to do, Control Z, we're just going to use an arc. So you can type in A for arc, right? Or you can come over here and select that little icon that says 2-point arc. Okay. Good. And then watch. I'm just going to go to that little plus because that's where the 15 is. I'm going to go click. One, click, let go. And I'm going to come over here and click this one, click. Then I'll come over here and I'll click my third. See, it lets you choose where you want it to be, right? Should be able to click it right there. Okay. Good. Repeat. Okay. So we're here. It doesn't really matter. I guess we could click, you could do it inside this group, but we'll just move it in there because we know how to do that, right? So you're going to hit A for arc. The first point, now this is a 2-point, it's called a 2-point arc. So you're going to do the beginning and the end, and then you're going to assign the middle. Okay. So watch, you'll click on this 15 right here, click once. Now it's asking for the end point of the arc. Click there. And then we're coming over here and we'll click, pretty close to right there in the middle. Okay. Good. Now I want that line to be in this group. Why? Because I'm going to use it as one of my edges to make the 10. Yeah. And I can't make a 10 in between if there's things that are in a group and things that are outside of a group. All the line work has to be next to each other in order for me to be able to select all the line work and then make the surface. Okay. So, but before we do that, what height should this be at? Right? How do we do that? Yep. Once you select it, right? With an arc, you only have to click it once. Yeah. M for move. Pick the point on the end, click once. Lock it to the upright with your up arrow and type in 15. Okay. Now, hopefully it's showing up something like that, right? Good. But is it in that same group? It's not. See? So how do we get it in that same group? We're going to cut it, paste in place once we're inside that group, right? Control X. Get double click inside that group till you're actually in there. You can tell you're inside of a group when you're able to select some of the lines or the faces and it doesn't show up as a big blue box. Like, see this, right? This is a component or a group inside of our group, but we're in the main group because we're able to select elements of that are inside there, right? So then we're going to do edit, paste in place, boom, right? Right? All right, now, while we're in this component and we're doing selection, this is when selection, you'll get really good at selection because you'll have to do a lot of it, okay? And remember, Control adds to it, Control Shift takes it away, okay? But in order to do this easiest, I want to go ahead and come up here and isolate just the group we're working in, yeah? So go to View, Component Edit, Hide Rest of Model. Okay? It's not great, but it's better, right? Oops. View, right? Component edit. So all that's saying, it's just a setting so that when you're editing a component or a group, you can hide things so you don't have to look at everything, yeah? Because it's sometimes hard to tell when you have so much stuff in a model, so it'll just let you work just within that component, okay? So I'm gonna click on hide rest of model, yep. Oops, I unclicked that setting that time, but right, I'm here, hide rest of model. Okay. There's still a lot of stuff down there, but is what it is. All right, now watch this. Ready? Now what we need to do, all we have to do is define, remember how we looked in that PDF? All we have to do is define this edge, right? We just need to come around and get all these edges here and connect them. But look, the issue is some of them are components and we can't actually we can't select just the edge, can we? So for ease of this workshop, what we're going to do, you can do two things. You could come in, remember, you could come in and just draw a line, right? We could come in like this, draw a line here, draw a line down to there, draw a line maybe like that, down the face. And let's see if that one, good. So then we can actually do this. Let's actually, it's probably best if we actually do it this way, okay? So it's similar to what we would do if we were drawing on the walls, right? But what I like to do a lot of times, if I can, I'm just going to hide the grading in the wall. So you can do it either way. You can draw them, you can draw your grading on the wall, because what we're drawing is like where the tin's going to go. You'll see that, okay? But watch, let's come over here. So come to that corner, make sure that you're in that group, right? So we can select some of the walks around it, yeah? So look, if this guy's a separate, if you made this one into a separate group, right? If this is a group when you click on it, yes? If it is, just right click and explode it for this exercise, okay? Because all we need in order to make a 10 is just this line right there, right? You guys see that? Just need to select this line all the way around, yeah? See that? I'm holding down Control. I'm selecting these lines just along here. Now, you do have to be careful because all this stuff down here, maybe we should put all this in one group so it doesn't get messy. Let's do that, okay? Watch this. Sorry, guys. In order to ease your selection, look, if I'm up here, watch this. If I do this and I select like this, I'm going to select all those things below it, yeah? Even if I'm careful and I'm doing this, you're still going to get some of those things down below, yeah? So let's make it easy on ourselves and just make this whole thing up here one group for us to work in, yeah? Everybody tracking? So all we got to do is select all that. We need to be inside that group. You can grab that. Right? What are you going to do now? Yep, you're going to hover over it with your mouse, right? Make sure that the cursor's over the top of some of that line work. Right click, make group. Okay? Now, the nice thing about that, because I have this setting, component edit, hide rest of model, if I go inside this component, everything else is going to be hidden. Okay?
Yeah.
Good? Isn't that nice? So now selection is going to be a lot easier because I'm not going to select things in the background that I don't want. Okay? We good? Do you need a minute? Yeah? Okay. Are you having issues getting them into one group or what? It's tricky, huh? The other thing you can do, remember, all of my model is still there. All I do is click inside a component to edit it, and then it goes away. But see, if I turn off that setting, it's still all there, yeah? We good? Got it in a group? If you don't have it in a group, don't worry. You just have to be more careful with your selection. If you're having trouble getting into a group, the other thing you can do is you can just do a save as your file, and you can just delete everything else out of it and just work on this one part. Yeah. Do you want to do that? But do a save as before you delete everything. Do you guys know what I mean by a save as? Yes? Right? So if you wanted to, you could do file, save as. And then mine's called today's date, model 01. You could call it model 02, right? Hit save. Then you could just delete all the stuff that isn't right around there that we're working with, okay? You don't have to do that, but if you start running into a lot of issues with selection stuff, that might be a good option, okay? But here, are we here? I'm gonna keep going, yeah? Because I wanna make this 10 with you guys and then do some other stuff. So I'm gonna double click inside my group. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on that thing where I can hide the rest of the model. Here we are, yeah? Da-da-da. Now look, all of this, look, all of these lines, I can actually select them, right? So watch me do this real quick, guys. Right? So even along this edge, I can use my selection tool. I have holding down control and I can select that whole edge, right? Not all of it, but I have to go a little piece by piece, right? So there's a couple ways of doing selection. Watch. So that's one way. I can use the window from left to right, and then everything I get in there, everything that's completely in there will be selected, yeah? If I go the other direction, I run into a lot of issues because it selects stuff I don't want it to, yeah? But even that's not a problem because I just hit Control Shift and I deselect, yeah? Okay, everybody see that? The hardest part is selecting this area over here, this little curve right here, okay? But it's not that hard. You'll figure it out. Watch, there's another way to do it though. Watch this. Real quick, watch this, watch this. So you can come along like I'm doing, right? And you could go select, oops, see if you go right to left, it's gonna select stuff you don't want, right? So you're gonna go left to right. It's gonna grab little pieces, hold down control. You're doing this all day long, right? Okay. There's other ways. Watch. There's actually some tools where you can join that and then you can select. Do you know that one? What's that one called? Look it up for Friday, right? See if we have to pay for it. I don't know because I'd love to show it. But anyway, all right. So you can just select it. But watch this too. Watch. If you double click here, it's going to select all the edges and the face, right? Now watch. Now I just hold down Control Shift and I just deselect all the stuff I don't want. Aha. Right? Look, I'm almost done. Isn't that nice? So lots of ways of doing things in SketchUp, yeah? So now that whole line is selected, yeah? Now watch, and then I just have to keep coming down here. Watch this. I'm gonna select that line, right? I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna hold down Control, select that line. Oh, we're getting so close, right? Is this one in a group? If you group this, you might have to explode it. Let's see. Nope, mine's not a group. But if it is a group, you can actually explode it, and I think it won't change your selection. Might have to. Right, so we're coming around to there. Ooh, but look. Right now it's selected all the way over there. I don't want grass over there, do I? So watch what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to draw a line. L. I'm gonna come this way. I'm gonna click here. And I'm gonna draw where I want the 10 to happen. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go top of riser to bottom right there, okay? Then I'll deselect, Control Shift, take that guy out. So real quick, let's go ahead and do, let's back up. Let's back up. Because I want to cover this and I want it to make it as seamless as possible. We're going to have issues in my model and probably the same in yours, wherever we have these groups, okay? Because we can't select that line work because it's a group within a group, right? Easiest thing for us to do is to draw a line down the stairs on the side of it in the group where the rest of the lines are, yeah? And then we can go through and select them all, okay? So let's do that part first, yeah? So come over here. I've already started to draw, but I'll start again, yeah? So make sure you're in the correct location, meaning, or the correct group, meaning you can select the edges that you were just working on, right? So that's correct, yeah? Now watch, now let's come through and draw these lines together. I'm just gonna hit L for line. I'm gonna come up here and all I'm indicating is where I want the slope to go. We're basically doing site engineering whenever we draw these lines, yeah? So watch, I'm going to draw this straight down the edge of those risers, yeah? click right there. Come over here. I could click right there, but watch. I'm actually going to make my the slope go down to the end of here. It doesn't really matter. You could do it up there because it's going to be hidden behind a wall. And then I'm going to go down the stairs to right here. And now hopefully my paths, I can select that line. So I shouldn't have to draw any more lines, but let's check. Can I select this line? If you can't, and it's in a group, just explode that group, okay? Because I know how we were making some groups so they wouldn't stick. Now, just for us to make the 10, you just kind of explode them, yeah? Like on the stairs, I wouldn't explode them, but on the paths, you can, yeah? And that's even debatable, like down the road, I would probably just go in and I would copy that line work from that block and then I'd bring it in. Don't worry about that. There's lots of ways of doing things in SketchUp. But watch, look, so now we've drawn the lines over here, right? We have a line that we can select all the way through here, right? You guys see that, right? And I could come up here, I could select this one, I could select that one, right? And hopefully right here, when I drew that line, it broke this line, meaning it's not going to make a 10 way over here, right? Okay, so we can keep coming around, but before we select all of them, let's go over here and draw a line, if you haven't already, through these stairs, yeah? On the inside, right? Everybody tracking? So I already drew mine in there. But if you think about where's the soil going to be in relationship to these stairs, yeah? It should be right, it should be at the base of each one of those risers, right? Okay. Does yours look kind of like that? Close enough? Good. And then along that walk, I had mine sloped down like this to the bottom of that riser. Then I drew another line through there, okay? How we doing? Good? Somewhat? All right. Well, I'm going to show you the final part, and then I can circle back too, right? So now all I got to do is select this. I just have to, in order for the sandbox tool to work, all I have to do is define the edge that I wanted to make a surface through. So I'm going to select all these lines. You guys can see what I'm doing. I'm holding down Control. I'm selecting these, the whole perimeter, yeah? And you want to select that one, that 15 kind of contour we made in there too. We'll do that in just a minute. We did this. And here. Up to here. Holding down Control every time. It's growing, right? Look at that. To there, to there. Oop. Yeah, I got it all right there. Need to get this guy. Now, the neat thing is about SketchUp, its selection tool is works pretty good because I could, remember that little trick I showed you? I could select this whole area and then deselect stuff. So I could continue to do that. Or you could come in and use your left to right window. Hold down Control and just select each one of these edges like that, right? Okay. Now, I'm missing one, aren't I? The 15. Right? Now, what would be the difference in the 10 if I didn't have the 15? Should we see? It's not going to drop down, right? It's going to go from top stretched all the way out to the bottom, right? And that's not what I want, right? Let's see what it looks like if I just do it this way, right? See, right? Now it's basically going from this elevation straight down. And the problem with that is that down here at the bottom, it's not flat enough for Gatere to play baseball, right? He doesn't want to play on a hill. So we've got to fix this. The client is very upset, okay? So Control Z, we're not going to do that. Now I got to go back. The only thing is I got to go back and make my selection again, but I've done it enough that These things just take time, but. So we're just gonna go back. I'm gonna use that little trick I was doing where I'm gonna select the outside. Or let me select the whole face and then add to it, right? Okay, cool. Look, got all the outside, right? Got my little slope through the wall. Now we're gonna add this in because we gotta have a spot for baseball. I didn't know baseball was so big, Kenya. Big time. All right, ready? So then all we gotta push is that little button up there from our sandbox thing, okay? You remember yesterday, if you don't have your sandbox toolbar up here, you just find a space where there's not a toolbar and you right click, right? And you want to make sure that you can't read that book. That one says sandbox, believe it or not, right? It's the video here. Make sure this one's checked. If it isn't, once you check it, so pop up a little window, and you can drag that window and drop it up here next to your toolbar, okay? Because this is my favorite favorite button in SketchUp is the create terrain from a set of selected edges, right? We ready? Boom. Ooh. Do you see that? Look at that. Samuel's going to stand right down here. Yeah. I'll be right here on the pitcher's mound, right? And I'm just going to throw him a curveball, you know? Like, even though it's his birthday. Strike. Okay. So we got a nice 2% grade down there. Yeah. Now, some of this is wrong, right? You see this? All this stuff up here. SketchUp doesn't know that I didn't want them to make, or that I didn't want them to make a 10 from here to here, right? So there's always going to be a little bit of cleaning up. But look how it made that 10 down my stairs. Isn't that nice? I know. I know. I know. So watch. Once you make the 10, yeah, we need to go in and clean it up a little bit. So we're going to double click just like a 10. Anytime you make a 10, it makes a group. Okay. It automatically makes itself into a group. Yeah. You can see I click on it. It looks like a group, doesn't it? Because it is. Then I double click inside. Oops. Now at this point, I want to turn off component edit, hide rest of the model so I can actually see. You see how it's flashing? What does that mean? I have two faces stacked on top of each other, right? And that's because, look, I told SketchUp I wanted it to make a surface right here to here, like on this side, but it didn't know it didn't want me to go from here to here. Yeah, point to point. So all I'm going to do is once I'm inside that group of the 10, hit E for eraser. And then I'm just going to, you can actually click and hold down and you can just drag it. Yeah. Nice. Or if you want to take time, you could come through and individually click on them. Click, 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 right? Or you can zoom in, hold down, and then pull it across, okay? That's what you want to do. You want to clean up all these little extra edges along here. Zoom in a little bit, clean them up, clean them up. Okay? Now, look, if you accidentally erase some of the 10 you wanted, what are you going to do? Control Z. Yep. Okay. But look, if you accidentally delete something and then you like go over or you do something else and you forget to Control Z, you can just make a surface again by selecting the edges, right? Select that one, that one, that one. And then what button? From contours, right? Boom. Right? Now the trick is every time it makes a 10, it makes it in a group. So look, these guys aren't connected, right? See that? That can be helpful, but it can also be a pain if you're trying to color this or work with it. So sometimes if I have to make like a repair 10, I'll do that, then I'll just explode it. Yeah. Right? Now, if you don't see all these little dashed lines, that's because you don't have view hidden geometry turned on, okay? See that? Does yours show the little dashed lines or not? It does. Yeah, if it doesn't, that's because I forgot to tell you that you have to go to view and make sure you turn on your hidden geometry. That shows you all the little triangulations that SketchUp made to make your surface, okay? And that's the key way to get in there and actually make all the changes and clean it up. But look, here's another little thing. I got to turn on my hidden geometry. So when I made that other 10, it actually made a line over here, right? See that line? I don't like that. So I can come into the box, I mean into the 10, and instead of erasing it, because that'll actually ruin my surface, you can just hold down Shift and just hide it, okay? So now it won't show up, or hopefully you won't be doing that. Okay, how we doing? Did everybody get the selection done? Who made a 10? Did everybody make a 10? Does anybody have a really ugly one that's like you selected some stuff that was wrong and it's like all stretched out? It happens. It all comes down to whatever you selected. If you select the stuff below it, it's going to triangulate a surface all the way down anywhere, anything you selected. Yeah. Now look, I can turn my walls back on real easy, right? Click. And then look, then you see how that wall holds back some of the grade there. Okay, so how can I help? Where should I back up to? Or I can just give you a few minutes, yeah? Yeah, you got some time. Yep. And we're back. So when I designed this, I wanted this wall to actually retain some soil because I didn't want this slope to be so steep. Yeah. So watch what we're gonna do. We've made our 10, right? We're gonna double click inside of it. I don't care if you've colored it or not. It doesn't matter. Yep. You can paint bucket it later. We'll get into some of that on Friday, hopefully. But I'm gonna double click till I'm inside here, right? I'll just make sure I'm inside the actual group. Now watch. There's this other neat little button over here called loft or depressed faces to shape a terrain mesh. Okay. It's the third button over on your sandbox tool. Okay. Yeah, loft or depress. Okay. So you're going to select that. Click it. And now look, if you zoom out, my default's to 10 meters. Do you see that? It might be hard to see, but you see that red circle? You can see it front row, right? So that is the diameter that it's going to start to push. Like anything in that circle, it's gonna grab the grip and it's gonna push it down or up depending on what I'm doing. Okay. Right. So watch. If I want to do a little bit more, so if I click here, it's gonna grab all this and push it down or up based on whatever we're in here. Okay. So if I want to be a little bit more detailed with it, I can decrease the size because right now it says 10 meters, right? 10.00 meters. Yeah. So let's just, before I click anything, I just have it, I just selected the command. I'm floating around, right? Let's drop that down. Maybe let's see what 5 meters looks like. So all you have to do before you click anything, you just hit 5, right? And you don't hit enter. Oh, you do hit enter. You do hit enter. So you type in 5. Hold on, get over here. 5, enter. Hey there. But ideally it works when especially when you're showing everybody. Hang on. I'm just glad he's not taking a video, huh? Oh, it worked. Okay. So look, but I should be able to, like, before I'm clicking anything, I should be able to type in like a number, right? 6, enter. And then if I move my mouse a little bit, it should update the size of it, right? So I have mine at 6. If I wanted it at 10, I could hit 10, enter. And then when I move it around, it changes the size. Yeah. All right. So let's go to 5. So 5, enter. And when you wiggle it, it should make it down to like this, about this size. Yeah. And watch what this is going to do. This is the cool stuff about SketchUp, right? I'm going to click here. See those little yellow grips? It's going to allow me to push them down. All right. Right? So I can actually come over here to the middle and I could drop it down to maybe where the bottom of that thing is, right? Might even be able to kind of lock it on the axis. Yeah, I can, right? I can lock it on that axis. And then I can actually push that down so it's close to the bottom of that wall. Yeah. Or I went a little bit far, so maybe to come back in here. Click on that again. Oops, not drape, but loft, right? You can pull it up a little bit. And if I want to fine tune some of this edge over here, I can actually, maybe I'll type in 3, enter. And it'll see how it reduces. It's almost like you have a big balloon and you're smashing down the, or pulling up the different grips of that thing. So I'm going to click here and then, ooh, look at this slope coming down, right? Good night. There's an architect in the room. Otherwise, I would have said architects don't get to do this. But they generally don't. Engineers, they don't get to have this much fun. Yeah. Right? They would just be like, well, that needs to be a 1.2% slope. And then they would do it. But we're like, we want it to be 2% and we want it to work and look good. I always like to trash talk engineers too. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's kind of fun. Right? And then look, so I actually pulled it down too much. There's a gap there. But watch, if I'm still inside the tin, right? Watch this. You can actually come in. If I just go back to my selection tool, I can just come in and I can actually just move different parts of it. So if I'm inside the tin, right? You can tell I'm inside it because I can click elements, right? But if I click outside, just so it doesn't give me a selection, I can actually hit M, remove, and then I can actually hover over that little point, and it allows me to just move that one little vertex, okay? Right? So then I can bring it up to right there, right? Click this one, I want to bring that up to there. So now look, now if you're walking up to the edge of this from the plaza, You don't have this problem because your wall is correct. Mine's not. But you can actually see where that slope is occurring down there. Isn't that cool? Pretty fun. Okay. That's the actual sound that it makes when you do that. Yeah. Oh, but look, I went below 15. I may have made this too shallow. Right? Because if that's supposed to be 15 right there, I need to pull it up. So we could come in here. I got a couple of options. I could just grab this line. I could highlight this whole line. M for move, and I could actually move the whole thing up, right? But that's a little clunky. I like to use this guy. Oops. Yeah, I hear some of you guys using it over there. And then of course, if you moved all of that, if I press this down too much, I could pull it back up. But for this model, I'm not really concerned about it being perfect, right? You could also make a 10 if you had done your grading for this whole thing by hand, right? You could bring in those contours and you could actually do the same thing. You would just select your contours and make a surface from it. Yeah. So there's lots of ways to use that little button over there. Let me show you how I would do that. I have to export it real quick. So I'm back in my CAD file. Here's a bunch of existing topography, right? But it all has the correct elevation, I think. We'll find out when I bring it into SketchUp. So I could come here, I could select that boundary. I'm going to hit W block, make that. I'm going to call that exist topo. Okay. Then I could come over here. I want to show you how to do this too, because it's so helpful if you get topo or if you've just done a design. The main way we've been focusing on is working with spot elevations, and in between those spot elevations, making a 10. But you can do the same thing by using your contours. And that's what I'm going to show you now. Yep. What's this? I would import this, right? Look at that. Ooh, that's pretty cool, huh? So those are all my contour lines with assigned elevation. Yeah, can you guys see them up there? Isn't that cool? And then you're like, oh man, it's probably going to take forever to make a surface over those, right? But it won't. But wait, if you actually have topo that has all the correct elevation, watch, yeah? So I could double click into this. Have you guys done this yet? Have you done it before? Really? Oh my gosh, you better be seated down. Or is that seated? Here we go. Double click inside. You're going to snag all those lines. Snag all those, hit the button. And you have a surface. Say, what? Isn't that fantastic? So if I turn off my hidden geometry, look at this beautiful slope I've got right here. Isn't that cool? I mean, we're talking like that. You can understand your site. Now, the cool thing, watch this. Last thing I'm going to show you. Probably, maybe. You can actually come into this. You can come into this image, right? If I had drawn this plan view, right? And all I wanted to do is see what my plan view looks like on the existing topo. Watch this. I could explode this guy. I could go to paint bucket. I can hold down Alt, which allows me the selection tool. I can click right there. I can come up to here. I can double click all the way inside. So I'm here and then I go B paint bucket. I mean, come on, right? Isn't that great? And the cool thing is, if you can draw by hand, this is the fastest way to study your designs. Because I didn't have to do any modeling, but I can say, oh yeah, this is kind of what this would start to look like. You could drop a person right here and say, oh, there's that slope. Isn't that awesome? So that is super fun. Okay. So that's just how you pull topo in. As long as the topo has elevation. In the PDF I gave to you, you can see how to assign elevation to polylines. Yeah. Or you can do the same. If you don't have them, watch. We Control Z all that. You can do it. Control Y if I bring them in. But look, let's say that this one right here is that it doesn't have an elevation. Yeah. It's all the way down here at 0. But I know the elevation. What would I do? How would I get it at the correct elevation? You hit the move button, click right there. You hit the up one, right? The up arrow. And then whatever the elevation is that you know or you want it to be, type it in. So you can assign, you could draw your contours, then you could bring them in here, and then you can actually assign the elevation. You could skip the whole CAD process if you wanted to. Yeah. And just move them over. It would take a little bit longer to do them in here, but it would work. Yeah. Everybody tracking with that? If you're not, don't worry. We're covering kind of the last bit pretty quick here. But isn't that great? So then you can quickly make tins out of just your contours. A lot of times when I'm actually doing real modeling for projects, I'm doing both of these. Yeah. Because what gets messy is when you've got contours that are running along walls. Like, and you know how contours are actually stack into a wall, right? So SketchUp has a hard time. It won't build a surface directly vertically. So there's a couple ways to work around it. You can use Topo Shaper or Curviloft to work, right? You can use Curviloft to do that, which is another extension. I'll try to cover it on Friday. Or you can actually go in and stack up contours inside a wall, and then SketchUp will make a slightly angled thing that you can hide within the actual thickness of your wall. So there's different ways of working around it, but it's super great. Okay. All right, we got 40 minutes, maybe an hour and 10. You guys up for a little bit of drawing real quick? We good? Okay, let's draw. Let's get off the screen for a minute. Stretch. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the folder has it in the CAD file. Yeah. So I gave you guys the CAD file. You could go in, select that line work, select that guy and right block it out like we talked about. Yeah. You want me to send you the topo? Well, the topo is in the CAD file. You just have to open AutoCAD. But can you open AutoCAD? Some people can, yeah. I can send it to you. Well, but if you want to try it real quick to make sure you can do it with SketchUp, I'll send it to. Do you have a WhatsApp with all these guys?
Yes. Yes.
If I can WhatsApp you the file right now, yeah. Yeah, because this is a pretty fun thing to. Hey, while we're waiting, I'll send out I'm going to send out the topo file. Can you guys? We need to get our supplies and real quick. You need to get up and stretch your legs, your arms, get your fingers ready for drawing, like this. Coach, can you lead us in some arm? Yeah, do some of these, okay? Yeah, on the head, tap the head. Out here, okay? Some of these. This is the crested crane, okay? I want to see some crested cranes. Yeah, some of these. Some of these. Curveball. Curveball. Mhm. All right. So here, yeah, you can keep talking and stuff. Somebody come pass these out to everybody. Please get out your scale drawing, and then we got to get some paper real quick too. So somebody come up and start maybe ripping papers or start passing them out. And then Caleb and maybe these fine gentlemen will help pass out supplies. I'll help out in just a minute too. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Wei Wei. See again? Oh, right now? For everyone? Or just me? Just for me. um yeah, color this too, yeah. Yeah, if we could do them real quick, that'd be great. Hey. Come. Yes. Camera. A dog. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Yeah, we're gonna draw or what? It's coming tomorrow, right? Oh yeah, good, good. Oh hey, I sent you existing topo DWG. Can you send it to everybody? Oh, nice. How'd you send it to me? An email? Okay, good. Yeah. Wait, you're the one you did. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah. It's so awesome. I'm gonna use it right now. Yeah, I'm gonna draw this elevation one real quick. Okay, yeah. So pencil. Oh, you only need like one or two. Just get two sheets, yeah, or even just one's fine. Yep. Or two. I don't care. Just say yeah. The main thing is we want to try to go quick. Yeah. Yeah, the main thing you want, we're gonna do colored pencils. If we get time, we may not, okay? I'm gonna show you which color pencils I use, but I want you to make sure you have a black colored pencil and just a regular pencil, yeah? And hopefully you brought your scale. Did you bring your scale today? Hey, had that last one. Look, let me see. Yeah, but where's me? Where's me? Huh? No, go for it. Huh? Good, huh? It's nice, huh?
Yes.
You like that, yeah?
Of course. So, I like this way.
Huh?
No.
Oh,
You know, it gives it's coming to
look at this. There, it's taking pictures of ladies. Man, look at what it is. Oh, look at that. Oh, professional. Oh my gosh. Give me a toss. Oh, I gotta stand up. So Photoshop. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's. Oh,
It's going to explain the
Oh.
point.
oh, oh.